So guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another review, Soundcore by Anker, the P20i. Now, if you are familiar with my channel, you've been watching it lately, I did do the A20i's, which look like this right here, but the P20i are very similar, but instead they have the stem design, and that's a design that I honestly prefer because it feels a lot lighter in the ear for some, and it's easier to take in and out of your ear, but to each their own. Now, quick specs. We have Bluetooth 5.3 with ACC coding. We have IPX5 waterproof rating, so that's rain and sweat proof. 9 to 10 hours of listening time on one charge alone, meaning depending on if you have that volume higher or lower, you're going to get a pretty decent charge, obviously a full shift. The case, on the other hand, you can charge it 2 times. So you're looking at a total of 30 hours of battery life with the earbuds. You do have interchangeable pieces for the ear tips, naturally. And charging case that comes with the actual headset itself. That's pretty obvious. And of course you have this string, which I love taking these off and putting them on phones, but to each their own. Now with that being said, let's open the box up together and see what it comes with. Well, I kind of already told you, but how good they look and if they are actually worth purchasing or not. So like in every review, guys, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button if you like the video. It is absolutely free. What I also want to say to you is that if you look at the description, ooh, this thing is torn. You know what's funny? When I purchased these, they were actually already torn. They came pre-ripped up, probably due to the Amazon packaging, because I did get it same day delivery. And unfortunately, well, at the time when I purchased them, and unfortunately, it is what it is. Now, what I will say is once you open up this right here, it's going to have this, well, I don't have the plastic in there, but it's going to be a piece of plastic wrapped around the headset itself, protecting it. So you have your small tips, your large tips like always, and then you have the mediums already on the headset, which we're about to take a look at in a moment. We have the USB-C cable, like always. There's honestly not much in this. And of course it does have 22 equalizer settings. So you may wonder, how do you actually access that? Well, it's very simplistic. What I'm going to do is show you that this has app support for the Soundcore Anker application. It's mainly the same for most headsets, but regardless, because this doesn't have active noise cancellation and a few other features, this may be a turn off for some people, but personally, if you're paying for headphones of this price range, you already know what you're here for. So let's put this to the side real fast. Move that. And I'm going to show you the headset in all its glory. So this is the cord right here, similar to the A20i's. They both come with hooks, but I took one out and put it into one of my cell phone cases. So this is pretty cool right here. Though I would have preferred this had some type of latch to hang from your belt, but it is what it is. You can't really complain for the price tag. It's pretty small. Well, I'm not going to say the case is small. Honestly, I think this case is probably bigger than the Galaxy Bud case as a whole, but you know, it's flat. It feels good. It doesn't feel cheap at all. It is scratchable material. Let me explain that right now. If you have this in a purse, in your pocket with keys, if you're taking it in and out of your pocket, you will get tons of scratches and scuffs all over this. Now, for video purposes, I still have these tips here, right here. See them right here? These are the contacts. Now, I actually had put them back on the case originally, just to show you the unboxing process. And let me tell you something, it was a real pain saving those to keep them on the tips, but the moment you take them off, as you can see, it starts charging with the case. Let me just pop that in so you can see it right here. There we go. That's the indicator letting you know that your headset is charging. Unfortunately, what Anker has done lately is instead of having multiple dots to let you know how it's charging, you have one. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think it's a big deal. I believe in the Anker app, it does show your battery life. I could be totally wrong about that, but you know, it is what it is. I'll double check before this video is over. So if you look at the headset itself, I like to think that these are pretty good. And these are the medium tips that come with the headset. I like them. The design, it reminds me of the Liberty Air Force. To be honest, the P20i's are really, when you think about what these headphones are capable of, it's more so, remember the Life Note E's that were super popular? These will replace those. And what they're doing is they're selling cheaper headphones with the same, if not better quality than the originals, and then they're lowering prices to stay competitive in the market, because there's a lot of headsets out there that are inexpensive that work very, very well. Skull Candy released a couple. I did a review on a $20 pair that was really, really good for Skull Candy. And you know, battery life, longevity, these are the bare minimum features. And now we no longer have to fight companies like Apple, Samsung, just to get a headset that lasts the entire day. Now, what I will say is talk time is a little bit different. It doesn't exactly say what the talk time is on this, and I've never used a headset and just talked directly through it. Some headphones tell you, some don't, but you still have that long 10-hour battery life. So if you're going through a shift and you have earbuds in your ear and it's comfortable, which we're going to talk about comfortability in a little bit, then this is a pretty ideal headset. So with that being said, let's go over to the next section. I'm going to show you guys how to actually sync these, and then we're going to look at a little bit app support after that. So like how I always discuss in these videos, there are two ways to sync a headset. Unfortunately, I'm not sure which one this falls under. Now, I want to do both naturally. You can open the case up, and it normally puts the headset in search mode depending on how advanced the headset is, while the secondary way, which is the more so primary way for most headsets, you take the earbuds out of the case and put them on the table, and then they sync. So we're going to do both. I'm going to go ahead and go to settings right here. Bluetooth, I'm going to go to pair new device, right? So it's searching. Right now the case is open. Nothing is popping up except for the OnePlus Nord N30 5G, which is what I'm currently using, believe it or not, to do this recording for this video. Like I say, always say before, I love being transparent about using the products that I suggest to you guys so that you can make an informed decision to say, well, it's not for me, because what I'm willing to put up with is probably not what you're willing to put up with, and vice versa. We're our own man, women, and you know, all that other fun stuff. It's 2023. So that didn't work. So I want to take these two out of the case, as you can see right here. And now, as soon as I popped them out, Soundcore P20i popped right up. I'm going to go ahead and tap that. I'm going to allow access and pair. Now, what I will say to you guys is that if you're an Apple user, you're going to go to Bluetooth same way. You're going to pair the headset. And what ends up happening after you pair the headset is you just tap it, it'll automatically connect. Androids ask you for contact information and all this other stuff normally, because there's extra features in Android devices built in. Apple's a little bit different, so please do be aware of that, but the syncing process is still going to be the same. You just take them out of the case, put them to the side. This headset row over here is going to pair that way. So if I put them back inside the case, they disconnect, as you can see. So as soon as it pops inside the case, they're disconnected. Just so you know, you can use left ear and right ear separately or simultaneously, however you feel, and you'll still get that 10-hour each ear regardless. So let's go over to the next section. Alrighty guys, so right here, we're going to do a double section, just so you know. Now I am talking to you in the actual headset, the P20i's. So during this recording section, if you like how the audio sounds, this is typically how recordings and phone calls are going to sound, because I'm doing a screen recording. I figured this is much easier and a little bit faster than having to break it down by each section. Also, do apologize for the heavy breathing. I'm underneath the weather, but I really wanted to get this review out to you guys, so here we go. So as soon as you open up the Soundcore app, just so you know, for the people that are wondering, you have to actually sign into this app. Once you do that, it is free to set up an account. It automatically finds your headset when it's already synced. So we're going to go ahead and press connect, because as you can see, the A20i was also updated. Now it says optimize, known issue, firmware update. I am going to do that a little bit later. I'm not too concerned about that right now. Now, just so you guys know, these headsets do have updates through the Soundcore application. I do not know how many years or how many updates they're going to be supported. But for the price tag of the headset, which is only $30 regular, but about 20 something, I believe, after taxes and fees and stuff, if you get it off Amazon on a sale like I have, which I'll put the link in the description, the price probably went back up to 30 bucks. No big deal, for being completely honest. Still pretty good headset for that price. Now, I've been babbling enough. So right here in the application, let's just go through the whole thing. We have the option to look at the model name, the firmware setup, it's the firmware update. You also have the option to turn touch tone on. So you'll be able to actually tap the outside of the headset and change what it does. Double taps, triple taps, as long as it allows it. So we're going to go through that in a second. We have gaming mode, and I'm just going to read that. Turn on gaming mode to reduce latency and enhance the sounds of footsteps and voices. So that really is for the people that play Call of Duty Mobile, that play horror games, that want to be more, they want to dive into the experience of what it is that they're playing and make it easier to differentiate, the different type of footsteps and sounds happening in game. For example, you play God of War or something like that, hypothetically, not God of War, Dead Space, you want to be able to hear the footsteps of the monsters, or Resident Evil, where it's coming from, or the yells and screams, so you can say, should I turn left or right to defend yourself? Anyway, you have your find device, you have your control settings. So right here, you have the left controls and you have right controls. Now, I'm only going to go through the left or the right. There's no need to do both, primarily because the options are going to be the same for the most part. So if you tap, double tap, single tap, you could change it to these options. You have volume up, down, pause, play, next, previous, voice assistance, or none. Right here, excuse me, sorry about that screen popping up. You have double tap. It's going to be the same options for double tap, but then you have hold the tap, again, going to be the same options for the left ear, going to be the same options for the right ear, but it does give you a limited ability to actually customize it the way that you want. Personally, I make single taps, either volume up, volume down, or pause and play, because a lot of times I'm riding a scooter on my way to work and I want to just be able to tap my ear or something like that and change the song without pulling out the phone. To each their own. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Now, also we have the equalizer. Now, remember I told you there's 22 equalizers on here. Very, how about to say lucrative. You have a lot of options, put it that way. You have the Soundcore signature, which turns the bass up. That's what I normally use because I like having more bass, especially if I'm listening to music like, well, I'm not going to name the songs, but the point is that I do rock music, I do rap music, R&B, depending on what it is, and I want to be immersed in my experience personally, especially if I'm riding down the street in a scooter. I pay attention to everything around me. I can't be on the phone, but I still do listen to music. I don't suggest that for everybody. You need to be aware of your surroundings. So that's just me taking a risk. But we have acoustic, bass reducer, classical, podcast, dance, deep, electronic, flat, hip hop, jazz, Latin, lounge, potato, piano, pop, R&B, rock, small speakers, spoken word, tremble booster, tremble reducer. And what I will say, it doesn't look like there is one for, I guess, to edit your own. But what I will say, don't worry about that. A lot of applications, like for instance, when I play music on my phone, oh, just so you know, I sync this to my personal N35G so I can do the screen recording and make it easier so you guys can see it all like this. I have an application called, I forget what it's called, but it has a bass booster in it and an equalizer built in. And normally I don't use that only because I want the sound experience all the way around. So if I go to YouTube, that bass booster isn't going to work. Only for musical applications. If I have downloaded music, to each their own. It's called Power Amp. That's what I normally use because I have personal music that I own that I put on devices. But with that being said, the application is very easy to use. You can't go wrong with it. If you choose to use it, you'll be able to change your touch taps and things like that. If you don't, be aware that when you start tapping the touch icons and if it doesn't register, it's because you need to have the application to turn on touch tone. Now, with that being said, let's go over to the next section. Alrighty, so I do apologize for the extra bright light behind me. I'll be honest with you, I think the bulbs I use is way too bright. But anywho, taking these glasses off so you can actually see my face. Just so you guys know, like I said before, I am talking through the speaker of this headset, so you get an idea of how the clarity is going to be in terms of calls and recordings. So for you guys out there, obviously your carrier is going to matter depending if you have HD calling and things like that. But for the most part, this is how it sounds. I'm not making any comments until the end of the video, so you guys can make a judgment for yourself. I don't want to be the one to cloud your judgment. So look and feel. This is how the headset looks. Again, I do apologize. I'm using the N30 and low, I'm not gonna say low lighting, but compared to being outside with the brightness, it doesn't do a very good job of recordings, but it charges super fast. So that's the only reason why I have it. So this is how the headset is going to look in the ear. To be honest with you, I did have some ear soreness. I'm not going to lie. I have ear soreness probably after about 30 minutes of putting these in. I'm not playing anything, by the way. I'm just talking to you guys. And the reason being is because the way I twist this into my ear, it's a snug fit. Normally, that's what you're supposed to do with headsets so that it kind of locks itself in. But with this particular pair, the A20i, I'm sorry, the P20i, got the model number wrong, P20i. As soon as I place it inside of my ear, I'm fine. There's no ear fatigue whatsoever. It's very snug. This is like a more sporty fit. You know how there's like the cheap Cherokee, then there's the sport edition of certain vehicles. It feels like this is more sporty. These feel good in the ear, don't get me wrong, but because it does feel like it's pushing in my ear a little bit. So some people are going to find some discomfort in this. Now, personally, it's been a while since I really used. Well, no, I'm wrong. I do use stem earphones all the time. I'm used to my OnePlus Buds 2, which are super light and extremely comfortable. So whenever you put a new headset in your ear and you try something different, it just feels, it takes a day or so for you to get used to the feeling of the new headset. But what I will say is they are comfortable in the overall. Now, when I change the rubber tips, they fit a lot better. So please do understand that if the rubber tip is too big for the inside of your ear, it's going to impact the entire experience you have with this particular headset. I like the way they look. I like the way they feel for the most part. I wasn't able to wear them for the full 10 hours without getting ear fatigue because I do listen to podcasts, I do recordings, I do a lot of different things, a lot of edits, a lot of noises coming out of these things when I'm using them throughout the day and just for real-time usage. And that's all I really got. So you see my face for long enough. Let's go over to the next section and talk about, well, basically how it sounds musically. Alrighty, so what I want to do for you guys right here is I want to reconnect these to the tablet to do a music test. Now, you're not going to be able to hear it, but I am going to describe to the best of my ability what it is that we are actually listening to. And in order to do that, let's go to the settings of this Bluetooth. Just want to make sure that they're connected onto this P20i. There we go. We are connected. Now all I got to do is go back here and let's play some music. So let me see, what's a good song to actually play? Let's do Zombified by Falling Reverse. It does a good sound. It does a good job of keeping any sound leakage from coming out. Also, the bass is heavy. Whoa, deep, rich bass. I'm loving this. We become the Walking Dead. Oh no, you never let go. It's something you said 10 years ago. They're canceling you. Stopping everybody zombified. They're dead inside. It goes on and on. Let this go. Okay. I was just jamming to the song. So let me kind of give you guys an idea of how this sounds. Now, of course, I've already used these. I don't know what kind of speech I'm using right now. I use these already for, I want to say, about a good week, right? And I do have two pairs, of course. Now, what I normally do for these reviews is that I always order one that I keep inside my closet to compare to other headsets, which I'm going to start doing that again. It's been a while since I did headphone comparisons to help you guys find something good. And I normally walk around with one that I just abuse and use on a regular basis, throw in my bag, throw in my pocket, just have an extra headset, right? Because I do have something attached to this tablet at all times, and I have a separate headset for my phone. I want to keep everything separate. What I notice about this headset immediately is that, like I said before, it's a very tight fit in the ear. I think the earbud itself is built a little bit snugger on purpose to hold it in place. So if you're walking around, things like that, it's not going to fall out. So you don't have to worry about that one. But in terms of music, the bass is beautiful. Now, the reason why I use the file manager and the default application is to show that there is no anything that was changed for this headset. It is on the regular settings when it comes outside the box. I did not change the equalizer setting. You will have to mess around with that yourself to find the best sound for you. I didn't mess with it at all. The bass is wonderful, wonderful bass. Now, if you guys are unaware of it, I actually have let me show you what they are. These guys right here, the OnePlus Buds 2. These are my everyday go-to headphones that I use every single day because, like I said, I'm using a OnePlus device, in case you guys are wondering. Love that headset. This has better bass than that, which is very surprising to me. There is a price tag difference. One is like $50, and it comes with active noise cancellation and other features. This doesn't. This is $30. Still, nothing wrong with that. The bass is wonderful. Sounds very good. It's mixed very well. If you turn the volume up or down, you don't have any breakage of music. It doesn't feel like it's struggling, because that's what cheaper headphones tend to do. For the people that understand, you understand. Let me explain what I mean. With cheaper headphones, when you turn it up, the sound, the quality of the voice, the background, the instruments, it starts crackling. The headphones can't handle the output of sound. These don't have that problem. They sound very, very good. Now, many years ago, it was impossible to get a headset at this price range with these features and sound as clearly as it does. Luckily, we live in a different time where the headphone market is so oversaturated that at this point, they have to lower the prices, which is a good thing and a bad thing at the same time, but that's another conversation. Good thing for me because I like buying affordable stuff. And I did do Amazon same-day shipping, just so you guys know. And the link will be in the description. I'm not here to sell you a product, or I'm not an Amazon affiliate, just so you know. I'm just leaving a link so you can find it for yourself. Here's the problem. For some people, this is going to be a huge problem. Now, when I was listening to the words, they were very clear. Don't get me wrong. Everything about this is clear. I don't have any complaints about highs, lows, mids for the most part. But what I will say is that when it came to the voices, again, I'm not a music mogul, so I'm not sure how to describe this, but I'll do it the best I can. It felt like the voice took a backseat, where it was background noise. It wasn't that loud compared to how I know the song was originally recorded. So if you listen to something on YouTube, you have other headsets in, or even subwoofers, a lot of times you can tell that if the bass is higher than the vocals, or if the vocals is higher than the bass, or if it's not mixed properly. This song with this headset feels like the audio takes a back seat in terms of music. So if you listen to Jill Scott, if you're listening to certain artists, you're going to notice that some of the other instruments kind of overpower the vocals a little bit, where, you know, you'll be like, oh, I hear the piano or the violin. It sounds like the same octave as the singer or the rapper or the rock star. And I'm like, that can mess up an experience for music for some people. But at the end of the day, like I said, you have 22 equalizer settings. That's why I say it's not really a big deal. Because if you want to focus more on voice, you can do that. For me, this is fine. But I do notice the differences immediately because I put so many headphones on a regular basis that I'm like, oh, wow, okay, I noticed that this sounds a little bit different than another headset. But some people will like that. So again, if you're listening to rap music, the bass is going to be crazy on this headset with these 10mm drivers. They sound much more powerful. But the bass is going to sound amazing to you. You're going to love it. You're going to listen. I tried the Offset Cardi B song. It sounded great. The bass was crazy. I was bopping my head. I'm like, oh, I was immersed. It was so clean and clear. It was like having a pair of headphones in that was noise cancellation. But obviously, it's not the same thing. If you're outside, out and about, you're not going to feel that way. I'm going to tell you that now. But they're pretty good for the price tag. I like them. They sound very good. They sound very clear. I don't have an issue with it personally. I could change the equalizer setting if I want to through the free application. You would be perfectly fine. So with that being said, are these actually worth the asking price? We're going to talk about that right now. So in short, the answer is going to be yes, yes, yes. These are worth the asking price. Now, I factored in a couple things when I asked that question. One is when it comes to the fit that we talked about. Like I said, this is the A20i's. This is the P20i's. You may ask which one's more comfortable to me. I actually find the rounder headset, the P20i's right here, to be more comfortable. I'm sorry, the A20i to be more comfortable than a P, which I will do a comparison between these two because they're practically the same price, just different design, right? The reason being is that I feel like this headset, they made it a little bit thicker than the typical ones in the ear area, so it fits more firmly, and it does. But I got ear aches, like I said before. I had to change the rubber tip. I still have that issue a little bit where I have soreness inside of my ear, and it wasn't from playing music. It was actually just sitting in my ear for a long period of time, and I did feel ear fatigue. I'm not going to lie to you, but that's my experience. What you might experience will be entirely different. If we're talking about battery life, we already discussed it. You got 10 hours of battery life in one charge. IPX5, Bluetooth 5.3, so everyone with the newer phones with the higher Bluetooths in it, your connectivity theoretically should be better than if you had a phone that didn't have Bluetooth 5.3. So they kept up to date with specifications and things like that. I didn't see anything about quick charging or anything like that, which, you know, I don't really care personally, because if you have a 10-hour battery life, who's going to keep a headset in their ear for 10 hours? As soon as you pop it in the case, probably 20 minutes or so. I don't know how big of a charge you get, but I'm sure it'll be a couple hours, so I wouldn't worry about that too deeply because the battery life is so good. You know, you don't really need the quick charge. Call quality or sound quality, recording quality, don't have an issue with any of those things. It sounds perfectly fine. It's a good headset. For 30 bucks, it's unlikely that you're going to find something even remotely close to this quality outside of the I forget the name of not JLab. JLab doesn't come close. There's a Skull Candy pair of headphones that are 20 that come close in terms of just quality of music overall. But, you know, it falls short in certain areas. I like this. These are my go-to for my tablet. Well, actually, this was my go-to for my tablet. I'm going to switch between these two and go from there. I like them both. I don't think you guys, the consumer, would be mad about this particular product. Either or, if we're being honest here. It doesn't break the bank. They're affordable. You can order them off of Amazon after 30-something bucks. I did the same day delivery. That's why the price increased a little bit. And that was like a week ago when I ordered them originally. They're great. I like them. Can't go wrong with them. And that's the review. So it's a major yes. Now, of course, if anyone has any questions, they want me to compare it to something that I already own, I don't mind doing that. And like I said before, this is like the upgrade to the Liberty Air, I'm sorry, the Life Note E's, which I still have right here. As you can see, I never got rid of these. Even with all the headsets that I've done, they're always a fan favorite and probably some of the most comfortable Ankers that I came across. But anyway, like and subscribe like always, guys, and I will see y'all in the next video.